I grow this willow bed to make living willow structures like my living willow fence and my living willow duck tent. You can also use it for crafting projects like making reeds and basket weaving. I planted this bed back in February 2024, and by the end of that summer it had grown to 8 foot tall. I then cut it right back down to the ground in February, using the cuttings to make my living willow structures, and 9 months later it's already grown again to 8 to 10 foot tall. And I'm going to use the cuttings this year to make some living willow arches. Willow is really easy to grow from cuttings because it roots really easily, and once you have one plant you can just keep multiplying it by taking cuttings from it. The best time of year to plant willow cuttings is during the dormant season, so that's between November and March, after the leaves have fallen from the trees. The first step to planting willow cuttings is to source your cuttings. It's important that you source cuttings that are suitable for basket weaving because you want these long rods for your crafting projects. We're growing Harrisons and Yelverton. Harrisons have these lovely long rods, and the Yelverton has a lovely red bark, which is really pretty. We source these online. The next step is to prepare the ground. Lay a couple of layers of cardboard onto the ground and then put a thick layer of wood chip on top, at least 2 to 4 inches. Doing this will just exclude the light from the weed and the grass below, which will kill it off and remove the competition from your willow while it's trying to get established. The next step is to plant your willow, and it really is as simple as pushing the cuttings into the ground, spacing them 60 centimetres apart in either direction. Keep your willow bed well watered during dry spells in the summer, and make sure you cut it back to the ground every year so that you get that long whippy growth that you can use for your crafting projects. This is how we brought our vegetable garden to life from a plan on a spreadsheet. We marked everything out in Excel, including the size and location of all the beds. We've opted for 6 sections containing 6 raised beds to grow our annual vegetables, and then we have a bed going around the perimeter of the garden where we grow our perennial vegetables, so things like asparagus, rhubarb, soft fruits and our step-over apples. We also added 12 dedicated ornamental beds where we grow pleached hornbeams, some grasses and herbaceous perennials, and this was to make sure that we always have something pretty to look at and to add more habitat for wildlife. Moving on to the construction, we marked everything out with string and then we laid out our raised beds. We built these using landscape grade oak, and we chose a hardwood because we wanted it to last, but landscape grade was a cheaper option. It was really important to us to have lots of watering stations throughout the garden to make watering easy, so we dug down and laid some blue MDP pipe around the garden, which we connected to various taps and troughs around the garden. The pipe was buried 60 centimetres below where the finished path level was going to be. So moving on to the paths, we chose a material called self-binding gravel, which we got from Allgreen, and I'm really pleased that we used this. It was really easy to install because it was very forgiving. You definitely don't need to be an expert to install this. It's super easy to maintain, and I'm really pleased with the way that it looks. We laid down some ballast to begin with, and then we put the self-binding gravel on top. We used a digger and track barrows to move this around because it was quite a large project, but we've since done some smaller projects where we've just used a shovel and a wheelbarrow, and that was fine for the smaller projects. But if you're doing a larger project, I definitely recommend hiring a digger and a track barrow. Once it was all laid out, we then set it using a whacker plate to just firm everything down and bind the gravel together.